Hopefully my internet holds up. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Fantasy Squad podcast. This is episode 4 of our NFL offseason talk. Uh, we've gone into the free agency drama. We've ranked our dynasty QBs and our dynasty tight ends. This episode, we're going to give you our top 12 dynasty wide receivers. And then we'll follow up next episode giving you guys our top 13 through 25 wide receivers. And then we'll do the same thing for running backs, and then we'll give you all a little draft episode before the draft, and then we'll talk about the draft. So we got a lot of stuff lined up for y'all over the next couple of weeks. So without further ado, let's get into it. Who wants to kick us off with who their wide receiver one is?
Mine is Jamar.
Yeah.
I just feel like, he was outstanding as a rookie. He has a top quarterback in Joe Burrow right now. The Bengals just lost a tight end that was soaking up some targets, so that should free up targets for Jamar. And I just think he's clearly the wide receiver one of that team. He's just so young. I think he's the most valuable dynasty wide receiver.
Yeah, I also have Jamar Chase at number 1. Just the matchup with him and his young QB from college, the chemistry is there. We've already seen it on the field. He's already done record-breaking stuff per game. So any more consistency there would be insane. And he's only 22 years old. And he's pretty much locked in with a good QB for as long as they can keep them both on the same team. So his future is crazy. And yeah, that's why he has to be at number 1. Jalen?
Yeah. I put Justin Jefferson at 1, but I'm not going to argue. It's like 1A, 1B. I don't know. If you're doing a fantasy startup draft, I'm cool with you taking either. I feel like, I don't know. I guess the argument can be made for Jamar that we haven't seen his full potential because he hasn't been as heavily targeted as like any of the other top receivers in the league have been while still being a top receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I just still feel like even like with the competition that Justin Jefferson currently has, I could see him getting more targets. And that's the only thing for me is that's like, okay, if you're playing in the PPR dynasty league, I could see Justin Jefferson being a guy who's consistently like catching, 100 plus passes a season. Whereas I don't necessarily see that with Jamar just because he's so much of a good, like he's such a good deep threat, right? And then you're looking at like the targets. He had as many targets as Hunter Renfrow. Well, Hunter Renfrow was like wide receiver like 12 or something.
Yeah.
Which was like, I think he was like 15th in targets, whereas Justin Jefferson's like 4th. Which
I think
you can say that like even if he doesn't see more targets than he does now, if he gets better, then like.
Yeah, I definitely don't disagree with that, and I also have no qualms putting Justin Jefferson and Jamar interchangeably. But I would say the only difference for me is just the guarantee at QB.
Yep, one has Kirk, the other has
right. Yeah,
I understand that.
And when I'm investing in like top receivers like that, I'd rather have the offense that I believe in more and have the number 1 guy there than the offense that I'm not so sure about. So that's the only reason why I have Jamar ahead of Justin Jefferson.
So we put Jamar at 1. I'm assuming Justin Jefferson is within y'all's too.
Yeah. It's hard to beat that first tier. Can we get on the screen? Do you know, or?
I could essentially like.
No, we don't have to worry about it.
I mean, holy crap! Hold on. I clicked the button to try to do it, and it started a whole bunch of stuff now. So. We'll figure this out another time. So then, at number 3, this is where there's a plethora of names that could come up here. So, I mean, if I'm being honest,
I have AJ Brown at 3.
I have CD.
I got Cooper Kupp. See, so like. I guess I'll explain myself because I don't think I got the old guy in the room. But in terms of dynasty, I'm really only looking 3 years in advance because like we've seen so much change. Like if you were doing that for like a lot of these wide receivers, you don't really know where they're going to be in a couple of years. Whereas in the next 3 years, I see Cup still being there at the Rams with the same QB and being in a similar situation. So I'm kind of betting on that consistency. That's why I have Cup so high. Yeah, that's where I have. Who'd you have, Jalen? CD?
CD
So
Lamb.
I have CD right after Cup, so I also don't mind that. I have him right at 3. I mean, right at 4.
I just think that like with Cup, I think the age discrepancy is like I just think the age is a big factor because he's what 28.
28, yeah.
28. So like it's fair to say, like you said, if you're thinking in 3 years, at the end of those 3 years, he's would probably be in the decline.
Yeah.
Whereas I think like it's reasonable to say that he could have another. He won't have another season like he did last year. I don't think it's possible, right? But he could again easily be the number 1 wide receiver. It doesn't seem like too much about his situation is going to change that would affect his outlook.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on how you value that. I just think that like I don't know if you can get wide receiver 1 production from another guy who's young. You might not get the wide receiver 1 production, but if you can get wide receiver 1 production from a guy that's like 24.
How old is CD?
CD's younger than AJ, so he's probably 22 or 23, I would say.
He's 22, so I wouldn't mind him at 3, actually.
22 is dumb young. Making me feel like an old man. So, Jasani, you said AJ Brown.
Yeah. I say AJ Brown just because right now he's going to be the wide receiver 1 right now. I mean, Julio's still a free agent, but I doubt to bring him back. Ryan Tannehill has a very good connection with AJ Brown. He's still very young, and he's in a bad division. So I just think they're gonna keep throwing it to him. He's like going to be the only guy catching right now. With CD, my only issue was it just didn't seem like Dak and CD have that wavelength that I was hoping they would build. There was a lot of just off cue games, and there was a lot of games where CD would randomly just have 4 targets or 3 catches. And that's just not really what I want in a top 5 wide receiver right now. He's never been the wide receiver 1. He's always been a wide receiver 2. And we've seen AJ Brown being that guy. So I just expect more from AJ Brown.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd be interested in seeing, right, if when CD had a bad game, how did Amari do? And when Amari had his off games, how did CD do? Because I probably would guess, this is pure conjecture, I haven't looked at that it was probably when one of them did good, the other, there probably weren't too many games where they were both popping off at the same time. Yeah. So my only thought is that if CD sees more targets than he already does, I mean,
CD could be the next Juju. You never know. Dude sees wide receiver 1 coverage.
I would say my issues with AJ Brown is that Derrick Henry is still there for the time being, which might not affect him later on. But another qualm I have with him is AJ Brown has been pretty injury prone his couple of years. He's consistently missed a couple of games, and I guess it's not really something you could worry about, but that's how he plays. He plays like a big man. He doesn't go down easily, and those guys typically can miss a lot of games. And then Ryan Tannehill is his QB. He has the shakiest QB situation of all these guys, so I'm really not willing to just tie myself to that.
I knew it was coming. I knew it.
Whereas CD Lamb, I trust Dak more. I think with the move of Amari Cooper,
you trust Dak more than Ryan Tannehill.
You scowling at me for that? I feel like majority of the world.
I know Dak did have a 2-month slump, man. That was pretty bad.
But I'm saying, Yeah, they might
It'd be
go
the
to the
exact
playoffs
same
one
team.
time and lose out in the first game. They might have the same exact playoff record they have
Yeah,
now.
they would have the
with
exact same team, to be honest with you.
Tannehill. But I think with the move of Amari Cooper, it's kind of like the Cowboys showing their cards and who they want this offense to run through and through the air. And I think CeeDee Lamb's going to be that man. Whereas AJ Brown, I mean, we've seen him be the number one guy. I mean, last year Julio was basically non-existent. How many games did he play last year? 2. So you might as well count out that he's not going to have Julio this year, just like he didn't have Julio last year. And AJ Brown, what did he finish as the wide receiver?
Yeah, but AJ Brown was hurt a lot this season.
Exactly, and I think that's part of what you're getting when you get AJ Brown. He's been hurt every year.
I will say, the upcoming contract year, that's when guys somehow always manage to play every game and have their best season. That's all. You already know who I'm going after in redraft. But yeah,
I think I would still put CD over AJ Brown.
So then the next one we're going to have an argument about, because my next guy, I have CD and then I have AJ. Do you feel like that has to be a Cup move, Brandon?
No, not necessarily.
So
I personally
CD is the wide receiver 3.
Yeah, I think so.
What are your thoughts, Rasani? You okay with it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've come a lot farther down than that. So
you have Cup a lot farther down than.
Not a lot farther down, but I mean, I've like Debo ahead just because Debo's been running the ball.
I have AJ Brown, then I have Cup.
I got Debo after. Well, I guess now that I moved Cup all the way down to 5, I'd have Debo at like 6 or 7. So what are you at right now? 4?
Yes, we are at 4. I would have AJ Brown here.
Oh yeah.
All right,
if you do a CD AJ, yeah, that's fine. But then I had Debo right after them.
I can't put Debo at a Cup like that.
Right? I mean, it's just like, man, he's a running back also.
Yeah, but he's had one healthy season. And I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about Cup, but I mean, that whole 49ers offense is a lot more makeshift. And
my thought process is that I think Debo is going to have a very safe floor because of how he's used, but I think you can say that you don't agree. I feel like we kind of saw what his ceiling will be, because, like, could you imagine them giving him the ball more and him being better with the ball than he was last year?
No, not really.
I mean, it just depends. I mean, you can. I mean, I didn't really expect Justin Jefferson to have a better season than he did, and then he did. It's like, have we seen Jamar Chase's ceiling? But like, he broke the all-time rookie receiving record. So it's just like, I definitely think he could do better. It just depends. But I definitely think he has the ability to do better.
I don't know, because it's like you have to assume that with Trey Lance at the helm, most likely next year, that this whole passing offense is going to look a lot different than it did this year. And I don't know if I'm willing to say that, like, I mean, maybe he will run the ball equally as much, but I mean, I don't know if running back carries is a great thing for your wide receiver longevity wise.
No, but I'm saying, like, I mean, it's not even like they're just handing it off to him. It's just like jailbreak screens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still, like, I think him just like lining the backfield, they're not gonna give him like 20 carries or something crazy like that. But I think the offense is still gonna run through Debo. I mean, I agree that, like, yeah, the offense runs through Cooper Kupp also, but I just think, like, the added extra running and the fact that he's only like 24, I think it's pretty valuable in my opinion. So we can put Kupp there.
Debo's 26. He's kind of old.
He's only 2 years older. Dang.
Yeah, Kupp's only 28.
I didn't know Debo was an old man. Grandpa.
He's pretty old.
Yeah, like I said, it's just my only thought is just like we saw Debo stay healthy for a full season and we saw what it looks like. I just can't imagine, like, I just can't imagine them giving because like every time he touched the ball, he did something crazy with it.
He was untackleable.
I just can't imagine him touching
Can
the
you
ball.
see Cooper Kupp having a similar or better season?
I don't think it's possible for Cooper Kupp to be as good next year. I just don't.
That's what I'm saying. He has to be disappointed next year. I don't think he's gonna be like awful.
I mean, I still think he'd easily probably be the wide receiver 1, but
I think
don't think he'll put up the numbers he did last year. Just because,
like 1,900 yards.
Yeah, but he could be like a 1,700 yard guy.
Yeah. I would put more stock into Cooper Kupp having a top 3 finish than Debo having another top 3 finish. Especially because like the whole 49ers offense, it's just going to look so different next year, I think.
Yeah, sure. We can put Kupp there.
Cooper Kupp at 4. So then at 6,
I got Diggs.
I got Devontae.
I got Tyreek.
I didn't make my list, brother. You got 2 or 3. No, I'm kidding. You know I love you.
Yeah, so the guys that I go Diggs, Devontae, and then Tyreek in that order. The only reason is consistency to next year.
Damn, wait a minute.
What?
Where do you guys have DK?
I got right after Tyreek.
I got DK far down the list, bro.
Okay, because you said DK is my next name.
Yeah, DK is my next name also.
Nah, bro, I dropped DK like a rock.
Yeah, but figuring out this pick 6, right? So who are you saying you have, Brandon?
Diggs. Stephon Diggs.
I have Devontae. And Jasani, you said
Tyreek.
Okay. So we're looking at guys who are I know Devontae is 29. Stephon
Diggs and Tyreek are the same.
Diggs and Tyreek are 28. Devontae's 29.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have those guys, right next to each other. I got DK after all those dudes. I don't care. He's 24. I would take T. Higgins over DK. I have T. Higgins ahead of DK.
See, I thought about that, but I was like, I can't.
Assuming that like DK is gonna be trapped in Seattle.
I'm not gonna rank him as if he's not gonna be at Seattle until I see it.
I mean, he did all right with Gino. That's all I'm saying. He did better with Gino than he did with Russ.
Yeah, man, if they're gonna lose Russ, they can lose DK.
I'm not gonna rank him as if he's going to be traded. I'm gonna rank him as if he's a Seahawk with Drew Lock.
Years to come, brother.
I would rather have Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, and T. Higgins over DK. Which one of those names do you disagree with? All of them? All of them? Y'all want them? What do you see?
Look, like I said I got Devontae here.
What are you saying, Sonny?
I mean, I would say I agree with those except for T. Higgins, just because he's a wide receiver 2 of his own team.
Yeah, I mean,
wait.
You could argue that Tyler Lockett's still there.
Y'all see this? Bruce Arians step down.
I hate that guy, man.
You want to talk about the wide receiver 1 and the Seahawks?
Hey, did y'all hear me?
What?
Yeah, Bruce Arians.
Yeah, Bruce Arians stepped down.
What does that mean?
Who's that
He's not the head coach of the Buccaneers anymore.
Tom Brady. I knew Tom Brady didn't like him, bro.
Tom Brady said, you want to come back? You got to get rid of this dude.
Yeah, bro. I knew Tom Brady didn't like him. I knew he was lying when he said he liked him.
But
Bruce Arians retired.
But yeah, I mean, so like I would understand Diggs here. I could, because like I said, I have Devontae. Diggs has a better quarterback and is a year younger. He's just not.
My only issue with Diggs is I always feel a little disappointed with his play because it's like it should be the most perfect situation. The Bills, they pass a lot, and Diggs and Diggs should be the wide receiver 1. But there's games where it's like, I mean, there's stretches where it's like Diggs hardly puts up any points, puts up any yards. I'm like, how if you're the wide receiver 1, Josh Allen be throwing it just doesn't make sense to me sometimes. So it's like, can Diggs be better than what we've seen in the past, or is that really like what he is? And if that's the case, that's why I don't have him as high as that. I just don't really see him doing any better. But just like, he should be in theory with the position he is, like definitely like a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah, and he probably is a top 5 receiver in redraft. He probably will be for a while, but I think it's just purely because of the age. And like you said, he is because Josh Allen's been the QB1 the past 2 seasons as well, right?
Yeah.
He's playing with the QB1.
Yeah, but 2 seasons ago he had a pretty insane year, did he not?
Yeah, the year that he got traded.
The first year he was wide receiver 7.
So like last year was only like last year was a letdown year. Basically.
Which is like wasn't like what Josh Allen's best years?
Yeah, I mean he's still QB1.
Well, the last year was also a down year for Josh Allen relative to the year he had before, which was
I think the year before. Okay.
Like both of their numbers dropped, but Josh Allen was still the QB1 because most guys' numbers dropped this year.
Yeah, I just think in terms of in my opinion, I think those 3 guys go next, all ahead of DK. And of those 3 guys, the other one that you can confidently be like, things should be relatively the same as Stephon Diggs. Devontae Adams, I mean, a lot of question marks there and a whole new team with more mouths to feed than his last team that he was on. Tyreek Hill has Tua throwing to him on a new head coach regime. A lot of question marks there. Stephon Diggs has the QB1 of the last 2 years throwing to him. They didn't really add anyone in the offseason that would really make you afraid. Maybe they'll draft somebody, which is assumed, but I don't think they'll draft anyone that will really put fear in your eyes in terms of Diggs. So,
do you fear the Gabriel Davis breakout?
I invite it because Diggs I think could use the help. And I have stuff.
Everything is safer to point to why Diggs should be ahead. I just think Devontae Adams is better, and that's the only reason I would have him above. So I'm cool with putting Diggs in this spot.
Wait, what spot is this?
6.
Oh, this is where I said Tyreek. I was like, wait, I don't even remember having. Oh yeah. I mean, I just have Tyreek just because, I mean, you pay that wide receiver all that money, the offense has got to run through him. And it's like Tua, this is his make or break a year. You got to, I mean, you're going to be pointing towards that speedster.
So the best.
New head coach, head coach has been talking about Tyreek, saying, hey, we need wide receivers. I mean,
after I thought that the $100 million Kenny Golladay would mean something, I just can't. I can't put that much hope into wide receivers that change teams, get a lot of money to be utilized in a similar way.
Yeah, but like the difference between Kenny and Tyreek is pretty.
Yeah, okay, sure, but like he got traded. I mean, he signed a massive contract, went to a new team. You expected the offense to kind of run through him in the air, and he saw a 5% target share. So it's like
but
maybe.
Oh,
okay. And the Dolphins are a really solid.
They're way better.
I agree with that, but I think Tyreek obviously is going to be good because I have him right. I have him interchangeably at 8 or 9, or 7 or 8. But I have to go with the less question marks. I guess I've been saying that a lot today, though.
Yeah, I think I would agree. Diggs has the least amount of question marks. That's why I'm comfortable putting him at 6.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now at 7 is. Do you guys have Devontae Adams or? Wait, did we put Debo on the list yet?
Yeah.
Debo.
Oh, we haven't.
No, we talked about him, but we did not place him yet. Right now. So essentially, based off where you had him, Jasani, almost every pick we're saying, you're like, this is Debo, should be Debo, I guess.
Where do you have Debo, Jalen?
I don't think he made the list. No, I'm kidding. I have him at 9.
Okay. That's kind of where I have. So you just have him right after Hill?
I have Tyreek because I don't know. Tyreek didn't make the top 10, brother.
Ooh. Who do you have at 8?
At 8?
DK?
Oh, I got T. Higgins.
Where's DK on your list?
7.
So you went Devontae, Diggs, DK, T?
I went Devontae, DK, T, Debo, Diggs. I had Diggs at 10.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I would rather have Debo than Diggs, to be honest with you. But
All right, we can put Debo up there then. That would put both you guys voting for Debo over Diggs.
well, but okay. I still I would have Debo over Diggs, but I would have other guys over both of them.
I don't think you can put DK ahead of both of those guys. Unless you're just like guaranteeing that he's on a new team in the next year.
I mean, I think he is.
But you can't guarantee that. You can't just break him there as if he's on a new team. That's like putting Deshaun Watson at 3 all of last year because you just knew he's going to be on that team. You couldn't do that. We had to put him at like.
How y'all feel about Amari then? The wide receiver.
I like Amari. That's why I have him up here where in the position where we were talking, and you guys have DK up there. I have Amari ahead of DK as well.
Hey man, this dynasty, you know, I'll take Amari over DK and redraft any day of the week. But like, if it's in a dynasty,
I mean, I'm not gonna say for a wide receiver. I feel like 28 isn't that.
I don't know if Amari's quarterback is really going to be playing. He
might be. Amari got traded 2 times already, man.
He might be stuck with Baker next year. There's always a possibility. But yeah, so in theory, based off of how my list is at this wide receiver at 7, I would have Devontae.
What's the collective list? What are the top ones?
Jamar, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp, Debo, or Diggs?
No, we put Diggs. So Debo is also still on the table.
And you have Devontae next?
Yeah, I would have Devontae right here.
So would you rather Devontae or Debo?
I'd rather Devontae.
So would you rather Devontae or Debo? Dynasty-wise.
All right, Debo. Devontae's already 29, man. He's only player for Rodgers.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with Debo over Devontae here.
All right. So then, would y'all want to put Devontae next? I think you have to put Devontae over like Tyreek, right?
Yeah, okay, I think so.
Yeah, we can put Devontae over Tyreek.
So then the question is,
T.
Yeah,
man, you can't put T ahead of Tyreek.
Dude, I literally, when I was looking, I was like thinking, and I was like, literally when I made my list, I was like, I should put T next. But,
bro, you tell me in a
draft, I just feel like we won't be able to sell having T over DK to you guys.
But no, we haven't even put Tyreek yet. You tell me there's a draft. And it's Tyreek and it's T. Higgins. You're drafting T. Higgins over Tyreek?
Yeah, dynasty, yeah. You know why? I'm banking on that in 4 years when the Bengals know they're going to have to give Jamar like a $50 million contract.
They're going to keep T.
Say, all right, T, we're going to auction you off to the highest bidder. There'll only be some team that has a good quarterback and it's like, man, we got no wide receivers. Let's get wide receiver 1.
I mean, that's a scenario. You could say, Tua could be gone next year to get a better quarterback.
Yeah, man. Good.
Okay. I just don't know you could put the wide receiver 2 over Tyreek. He's not advice with his own team.
How long is Tyreek going to be the wide receiver one?
I would say he has like at least like 3 or 4 solid years.
3 years, 4 years.
They already got his replacement.
Bro, that's speed, man, dude. People are still scared of Deshaun Jackson's speed, man. That speed don't die.
The speed dies, bro. The ankles die. The knees die.
Not for Tyreek.
No, he's gonna turn into Julio. His hamstring's gonna get dumb tight.
I would say Devontae then Tyreek. In my humble opinion.
Yeah. That's kind of what I have right here.
I had Tyreek. Oh, okay. I'm cool putting Tyreek there.
Yeet.
Okay,
The mighty have fallen.
I'm guessing next we're at. So
All right. I think I have reshifted my opinions. I mean, so like the next 2 guys I have here is T and DK for what is this, 11 and 10 and 11?
yeah. Yeah, I would do T. I'd go T over DK.
I would too. Unless you're really hoping that DK leaves the team, doesn't have Drew Lock in his future.
I mean, I think they're both leaving their teams, but I think in the immediate
everyone's leaving the Seahawks.
Yeah, I just think the immediate future for T is even better than DK's, even as like the 2, whereas DK will be the 1.
Yeah,
I'm not going to value Drew Lock targets like they're. that's just the end of that. Now, if they drafted a quarterback, or if they traded for like Baker,
that's what I'm saying, man. I think I just the situation for DK's got to change, man. There's no way to just sit on the hands of Drew Lock. If they did,
yeah. We literally just before last season started, me and Jasani said, if you like, it's okay to take the plunge on the Denver wide receivers because the quarterback play has to get better at some point. They had Drew Lock, and guess what we can say about the Seahawks guys? Quarterback play has to get better at some point. They got the bottom barrel quarterback.
But they just got Drew Lock, bro. It's all giddy, man. They like him. He's done nothing wrong. He hasn't lost a game there, bro.
They like him enough to still draft a quarterback in the first round, I bet.
Have you did you see what the statements that the Seahawks have made about Drew Lock? They said we're trying to only look, we're trying to keep it positive and only look at the good things. And everyone's like, what good things?
Terrible.
Like, what do you mean you're trying to keep it positive? They really like his interviews. So
would y'all be cool with T then DK? Do you feel like you gotta put DK over T? The gamble on DK is higher because I think DK is better than T, and it's like just straight up is better than T.
DK has the higher ceiling.
Yeah.
I think it's like way higher.
I think you're banking like in Dynasty, like okay, because we're looking at the wide receiver 10. He's probably never going to have a top 10 probably not even really have a top 12 wide receiver finish in PPR.
Unless they keep rolling all the coverage to Jamar and keep just getting singled out here.
So then T becomes the wide receiver 1. You're going to be pissed if you drafted Jamar that year.
I would have to say DK over T.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I like more than DK, but I have DK ahead of T on my list because I'm like, that's DK.
Yeah, man.
All right.
I love T, man.
I can see.
I love T, man.
You could put DK there.
All right, DK T. So then we got our last name, 12. I have Waddle.
Oh, Mari.
Nah, you had 2. Oh, you have Waddle ahead of Tyreek?
Yeah, I put Waddle ahead of Tyreek.
Wait, who do you have, Jasani?
Amari there, Bobby. I was at Tyreek way up, so I mean, I would say I'm Tyreek.
Well, have we not put Tyreek down yet?
Yeah, we put Tyreek at 9.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we did? Oh.
Yeah. I have Amari at 12. So I guess I don't want to give up the next ones. That's for next show. But yeah, I have Amari at 12.
I got Waddle right after Amari.
I don't trust Amari Cooper, bro.
You don't like Amari Cooper? He arguably has.
Waddle already better than Cooper, bro. And he got a better quarterback too.
Nah,
go to
doesn't
war for
have
this
any
one.
of the sorts. Everything you just said was false.
I think at this, like last year, Waddle was like, because like before Tyreek got there, Waddle was being drafted as like a fringe wide receiver one for like redraft.
Yeah. I bet Tyreek's a pretty big addition, though. He is like the best wide receiver or number two.
But who do you think Tua is going to throw to more?
Tyreek.
However, the guy who's going to help him keep his job, I don't think he's going to take favorites.
Who do you think is going to be open more now?
Tyreek.
Right, the ball has to go through Tyreek.
She would say on the field, Waddle's a better wide receiver than Tyreek.
No. So you're gonna put you're gonna say defense, sell out on stopping Tyreek, and then guess what? Tua's gonna just throw more dump offs.
They've been saying that for years.
I can say that about T. Higgins.
They've been saying defense stop Tyreek for years.
Yeah, but he had Patrick Mahomes throwing to him. Tua can only do so much.
Who do you think has more likely to get the Debo carries?
I don't think either one of them is going to get Debo carries. Those
You
dudes
don't think it's going to be Tyreek?
Those dudes are kind of small.
But Tyreek's thick, though. He's short. He's thick.
Yeah, he's pretty muscular, bro.
He's pretty muscular. Waddle is
He's definitely bigger than Waddle.
He's definitely bigger than Waddle.
I think they're going to be doing some crazy stuff where they'll like have one of them run around and then the other one get the handoff. They're going cheese. Like my thought process is just that like I could see Tyreek and Waddle like being just about as good as each other in like for that team, like in redraft, like now pretty much.
See, I had high hopes in Waddle, but I had to drop him down the list once Tyreek came to town because I mean they have similar
skill set.
What'd you say?
Skill set.
Yeah, they have similar skill sets, you know, and they don't have a strong arm QB. It's gonna get real creative and
Dinkin Duncan.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's a new head coach.
The guy from the 49ers.
We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of them could be Debo, the other can be Ayuk, but better.
Yeah, so we know which one's gonna be the Ayuk.
Much rather Debo. I don't think Ayuk scratches the top.
All I think is I don't think like do y'all think Tyreek is still going to be a wide receiver one?
I think regardless, he's going to do better than Waddle. I think whatever he is, Waddle's going to be behind him.
Yeah, that's fine. But because like I said, Waddle was being drafted as a wide receiver one still. Or not still, but like before Tyreek, Waddle was being drafted as like a wide receiver one in like redraft. So in Dynasty, Waddle was probably going ahead of like he's probably going where we put like AJ Brown. So does Tyreek getting there move Waddle 10 spots down to you?
I mean, he went from being the alpha, literally no one else is there except for Mike Gesicki, to now a whole other alpha is there that should get more targets than him. So it's just like the whole dynamic.
New head coach, new offense.
You have to drop him at least.
And it paid him so much money. They're going to feature him more than Waddle. They kind of have to.
Yeah, I dropped him probably like 5 to 6 spots.
So then you weren't that high. Well, I guess because you.
I think he'd be right at like 15, 16.
I'd rather have Waddle than Amari Cooper.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited with Amari Cooper and Deshaun.
I'm not. Amari's still going to be Amari.
He might have a chip on his shoulder, man.
I don't think Amari cares, bro. He's making 20. I don't think he cares at all.
You don't think he's going for a Super Bowl?
No. What?
My only thing is I just expect the Browns offense to be better, like as a whole. So,
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyreek and Waddle just both do bad next year because the Miami offense is just bad. It'd be disappointment, and and then Tua would be up out of there, but
I mean,
it wouldn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
I'd say everything is in the books, even with Tyreek being there, for Waddle to be better than he was last year.
I mean, that's possible, but I just think he's not gonna do better than Tyreek. Like he could do better.
Okay. But Waddle was already like a wide receiver 2 last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if I share that. I don't see his stock going up.
But this is the wide receiver. This ain't like some star wide receiver coming in. This is Tyreek, the cheetah.
Hey man, they spent more picks on Waddle than they spent on Tyreek.
Yeah, but what's the money talking?
Did they? How many picks they spent on Waddle?
I just think that it also, like, I mean, he has Tua throwing in the ball. I would assume, regardless of how good Tyreek is, Tua probably thinks Waddle's just as good.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Tua has the luxury to be like, playing favorites out there. I think he's fighting for his job.
Hey man. I mean, I think if Tyreek's going to be the one that's seeing all the coverage and all the defensive attention, I think Waddle will be more open than he was last year.
I'm not saying like he could definitely do better than what he did last year because the offense should in theory be better. I just think Tyreek will do better.
I can't see that. I mean, Waddle's value last year came from the fact that he was getting. I mean, I'm counting it right now. He out of 18 games, it looks like 12 games he had 8+ targets, and I just don't see him seeing that same target share going into this next year with Tyreek there. 8+ targets a game. There's some games where he's seeing 13, 12 targets, 10 targets. I just don't see that happening again this year. And if you take away his biggest value, which is target share, you have to say that his other things are going to suffer. It's not like he was putting up 100 yards every game, even with 13 targets. He was still, not getting 100 yards. So it's just like, if he's not getting peppered with targets as much as he was last year, which, I mean, he broke the rookie record. Clearly he was getting peppered with targets. I just can't see his stock going up. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he was a wide receiver 13 last year. So like ranking him at like 15 or 16 is not really dropping him, but saying he's going to be like a wide receiver 10 to 8, that's kind of crazy to me.
Nah, I just think I think it's a given to me that he'll be better. But I mean, if you guys want to put Amari Cooper here, we can. I'm just not on the Amari train like at all.
I mean, to be honest, I would rather have probably Amari Cooper, maybe even like D-Hop or Keenan, even though they're 29 years old.
You'd rather have them over Amari?
I kind of have them all interchangeably.
Yeah, I would rather have those guys than Amari.
I have Amari ahead of him because he's 2 years younger. And then I have Waddle after those guys.
Hey, man, Waddle's like, what, 22?
He's like 23. But he's got Tua as QB. That's got to knock him out.
I'll take Tua over Baker.
Bro, we know Baker's on the way out. Tua could have an average quarterback season, and then they will have Tua again next year. Baker's out no matter what.
Nah, I think if Tua's average, I think he's up out of it, man.
You think he's done, even if he's average?
Yeah, man. He has to have like the season of his life.
They have 2 first-round picks. If Tua sucks, they're going to trade for one of the top QBs that wants out at the time. It'll be some quarterback, right?
Yeah, man. They're gonna definitely, like, if they don't make the playoffs, he's for sure out. If they lose in the first round, I think he's out.
You think if their first round bounce, Tua's done?
Yeah,
nah, unless Tua chokes, and like if he sucks,
I can see them sticking around with Tua even if he's average.
I know, man.
You think they're gonna have the 49ers approach of like they didn't like Jimmy G that much? Just
I mean, the
just
Rams got rid of Jared Goff. He got in the Super Bowl, so it's like ain't nothing safe. I mean, Baker got the Browns to the playoffs. They got up off him.
Yeah, but Baker's bad.
What's Tua?
What's Tua?
What's the word for Tua then?
I promise. Baker's just booty, bro. You know who else is booty? Amari Pooper, bro.
Bro, where is this Amari Pooper slander coming from, man?
Like, I just think so. Okay, let me ask you this: do you think he's going to be a wide receiver one in Cleveland with Deshaun?
Right, what do you mean by like? Where would you say it's a wide receiver one?
Do you think that every year he and Deshaun play, he will be consistently finishing in the top 10?
Yeah, I think it'll be wide receiver one.
I think it's definitely.
I'd say top 12 would be a wide receiver one, and I'd put him right at 12.
I would say there's definitely gonna be those games where like he stinks, but then overall he's gonna he was like maybe right outside the top 10, but I don't see him going any lower than that. Like definitely not outside the top 15.
I mean, how many years have Deshaun played a full season and he did not produce like a wide receiver one option?
No, he always does for the most.
Right, and it's like, who's the wide receiver two for that team? Donovan Peoples-Jones. So he scares me about 0%. And then it's like, what? They lost Austin Hooper. So like, sheesh. Who's the other tight end? Yeah, they have Njoku. Yeah, and don't catch any targets. So it's just, I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, Amari Cooper has always kind of been in this situation where he's kind of always been like the sole dude there. But this is the best QB he has. And I mean, the Cowboys was a little bit stacked on offense. So there was games where Dak could go to other guys, whereas I don't know who Deshaun could go to. I mean, maybe they'll just run it a crap ton with Chubb and Kareem.
It might time it well.
No, man, not that division,
Yeah,
man. In that division, man, you gotta put up points, man.
Yeah, and I think when they bring in Deshaun, they will be throwing more than what they did with Baker, but I don't know. Maybe the excitement is getting me. But yeah, I think he'll be pretty good. I like him better than when he was on the Cowboys last year.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Cowboys last year, he had CeeDee Lamb, Zeke, Dax, okay quarterback, and he's still what did he finish as? Was he a top 15 wide receiver last year, or did he fall out of that? He could have fallen out of that because he missed like 2 or 3 games.
He was the wide receiver 26.
Yeah, she's a down year.
Yeah, he only missed 2 games. But upgrade at QB, less weapons around him. Top 12.
I won't be surprised if he's finishing in like the 13 to 15 range. That's more where I expect him to finish. I just don't.
Yeah, and I'm not going to argue that.
I just don't think he's that dude. And
how do y'all feel about Deontay
Johnson?
Yeah.
If he had any better quarterback, he would have been on the list.
I mean, he's a better quarterback than he had last year.
Is it?
All I'm saying
I don't know if it will be for fantasy purposes. In real life purposes, yes, but fantasy, I don't know.
Yeah, they have a lot of question marks there. Like, who will Mitch Trubisky like?
Like,
I don't know.
You might see that Claypool 6'4" and be like, "Yeah, that's the wide receiver one here." Or he'll see Freiermuth and be like, "That's
that
guy."
No, it's gonna be like some like practice squad guy. He's like, I remember when I was a backup.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to buy low on Deontay Johnson in Dynasty.
So who are we putting at 12?
We can put Waddle there. That's fine.
Yeah,
I see with the combination with the age.
He's 20.
Maybe a better quarterback play. You know, in theory, it should be just a better offense. Maybe a lot of coverage gets rolled to Tyreek.
I don't know.
I'll be fine.
Bro.
He is only
because even with Tyreek being on there, Like I definitely dropped Waddle down too, but I still had both like on the list. You know,
I have a question for you guys. Do you guys have? Let's say Kansas City does not draft, or let's say they do draft a rookie wide receiver. Do you guys have Juju anywhere near being a wide receiver one?
If they don't draft,
If they do draft a wide receiver,
nope.
You think that wide receiver would be? What if it wasn't a first round wide receiver?
Way better than Juju, bro. Whoever they get will be better than Juju. Juju's a wide receiver too by nature.
You don't think MVS is the one?
I think personally, if they draft a wide receiver, that might raise Juju's stock.
I feel like their team is set up for them to spend one draft pick on a wide receiver, and like their offense immediately be like, wow, they have a good offense again.
I'm kind of excited for Juju. I wouldn't mind. I have him kind of at 16.
Boo boo shit Cooper, bro. Come on, bro.
Wow.
Is that really exciting?
16 is not exciting, but it's like an interesting,
Would you rather have Juju or Deontay in Dynasty right now?
As like your wide receiver one? Deontay, yeah.
I was like, I had both of them, and I traded Brandon Juju, and I was like, would I rather have Juju than Deontay now that he has Mahomes and he has Mitch?
No, man. Minnesota might still be busted.
You mean Juju?
Juju's not that beat.
Well, okay, so yep, the list is now. The list is complete. We got Jamar, Justin Jefferson, CD, AJ Brown, Cup, Stephon Diggs, Debo, Devontae Adams, Tyreek, DK, T, and Waddle.
That's a pretty good list.
What about Terry?
No.
Yeah, believe Carson is the best quarterback he's been and played with.
Bro, we've seen Terry. I mean, we said that last year, did we not? And we saw it literally the same exact season from Scary Terry. Literally no difference. So it's like, okay, cool. Now he has Carson Wentz, and what's he probably gonna do? Probably have this very same.
I don't know, man. Like Carson Wentz is the first quarterback he's out throwing him the ball that's like at least starter. You know? You got the ghost of Alex Smith, Heineke,
Fitzpatrick, man.
Yeah, like he had literal backups throwing him the ball like he could.
Dude, he had worse quarterback player than what D-Hop had, man. It's been sad there.
I just don't see the ceiling there with Scary Terry. And
I think if he played on a team with like a slightly above average quarterback, he'd probably be like a top 7 receiver consistently. But it's never going to happen because he plays for the Washington football.
They'll have Baker Mayfield in there soon enough.
Trust me, I'm hoping they do something as a Scary Terry dynasty owner.
I could see Baker going to Steelers. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, he's petty enough to go to the Steelers. Just like
man. Like it would not shock him one bit. And the Steelers will love him too. Just shove it back in the Browns.
Cleveland fans would literally invite that, dude. They'd be so excited.
These Browns
just shot his class to Steelers.
Yeah, bro. That's 2 free wins every year, bro. What are the teams gonna win with their defense? Haven't done that.
Sean running with TJ Watt. TJ Watt chasing after. Bro, Myles Garrett would smoke Baker on the sack, dude.
Bro, you don't think Myles Garrett? You don't think the defense understands Baker's weaknesses?
Make him roll left.
Make him do his spin move. I remember I was watching the Peyton brothers broadcast, and they were watching a Browns game. Eli Manning kept commenting on how many spin moves Baker was doing that game. He goes, whenever he does a spin move, the play usually does not end well.
He do be spinning out the pocket a lot.
Yeah,
we got these top 12 wide receivers pretty fast for it to have been by far the most like
that was tough.
Most different in our rankings.
That was a tough ranking, but I honestly I'm looking at our list and it looks pretty good.
I'm also glad to know that you guys have high hopes for Amari Cooper. That means y'all gonna let a real good player slide to it.
Yeah, bro, that real good player would be Scary Terry, all yours.
Nope. If y'all love Scary Terry, wait, I was gonna say, would you rather have Scary Terry or Mike Williams? But it's like,
All right, flip a coin.
Yeah, Scary Terry Pittman, Matt Ryan.
The next show is gonna be really difficult.
Pittman might be the next name up on my list, to be honest with you.
I need to keep looking at this list. Like, where do you? There's so many question marks here.
So where do you guys have Darnell Mooney at?
What about like Judy, Young, Russ?
Dude, there's so many.
Judy.
I'd say I feel like right now Judy's value is never higher than it's going.
Yeah.
Unless he actually puts in a wide receiver one season, then everyone will be like,
man. I think right now you should probably like shy away from Judy. You know he's gonna get overdrafted so hard. Yeah, he's gonna get drafted hard.
Because I think right now his ADP is like round like 5 or 6. Yeah. And then like Cortland Sutton is like round 8 or 9. It's like you have just to get a shot as getting Cortland Sutton as Russ's favorite target is him. And then Tim Patrick, I mean, the least of the three. I think he's like around 16 pick. Like he literally get everything last pick. He has a good chance.
Might be the best one.
Yeah, he might be the best one. I think looking at the last 2 years, the Denver Broncos wide receiving core. I think last year the wide receiving core had 6 touchdowns as a whole. Judy had 0, Cortland Sutton had 2, and Tim Patrick had like 5. and then 2 years ago, it's like the same thing. Like Cortland Sutton bodied the other 2 guys. I mean, Tim Patrick bodied the other 2 receivers and by touchdowns. Granted, Jerry Judy hasn't really played that much in those last 2 years. But I mean, touchdown wise, I think Judy has like 3 touchdowns in his career.
Yeah, he's definitely a question mark. He just might could just be not good.
It's like that guy that's like always has the hype but never actually produces.
Yeah, Marquez Callaway.
Who's the other Saints guy that's very similar to that?
Oh, Traquan Smith.
Yes, everyone loves Traquan Smith. I hear that name every offseason, bro.
He either re-signed with the Saints or he came to the Falcons.
I think he re-signed with the Saints.
I know the Falcons brought him in for a visit.
You would have been the wide receiver 1, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think
Brandon laughed like a villain after that, bro.
I hate the Falcons, bro. So, as a residential Georgia podcast, and we have a residential Falcons fan here, Jasani, would you rather see the Falcons be the worst team in football or be surprisingly good with Mariota?
Nah, just go ahead and lock up that first pick. Bro.
you in the tank trade, bro.
Just listen, we already sold the farm. We're all out here rolling out with pits. Let's just go ahead and go. Ain't no way just like dip your toes in. You go ahead and plunge in, man. Just lock up that
If the Falcons win 4 games, was it a choke? That's got to be a choke, right?
Yeah, if it's like the most middle, we get like pick 7. I'm like, God,
win
man.
by
Never
field
get
goals.
out of here. Yeah.
Won, what, 3 games last year?
Who?
Jacksonville, they won, 3 games last year?
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Bills. They beat the...
Wait, they beat the Bills. They beat
Miami.
And they beat the Dolphins.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
My thing is, what are we going to do when Mariota gets hurt? Because he's going to get hurt. So our backup.
Cordero goes right into Wildcats. So easy. You don't even hesitate. You don't even think about it, bro. Cordero, right?
He's pretty much Mariota.
He's pretty much Mariota.
We're just gonna fuck it, man. At least let's just have something to watch. At least something fun to watch.
Sign Vic out of retirement.
Yeah, I say like just be. I mean, it's not even like a choice. I literally think we're gonna be one of the worst teams in the league next year.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we have one of those top picks, and I hope we do have the top pick to get Bryce Young, and we start. Just go ahead and restart, man. Because the next year we have a lot of cap space too. We can really just flip the thing off. Matt Ryan will be
just a 2-year outlook.
Yeah, man. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, but when the Falcons end, 5-12, real disappointed.
5, yeah. Well, can't get the top quarterback.
Get a DT, I guess.
Just get another lineman.
Yeah, I think the Falcons should literally just take whoever they think the best player is this year.
Yeah, just every
There's
round.
no play there that's gonna immediately impact our team to where like, yo, we could be a playoff team.
They should redshirt their rookies this year. They should put Kyle Pitts on red shirt, bro.
We don't want you getting hurt this year, Kyle.
Yeah, we need you to opt out. We need you to pause your contract. We don't want you getting expensive.
All right.
Can't both be good.
I like our rankings, boys.
I think it's pretty good.
Now, if the Chiefs or Packers spent their first round pick on a wide receiver, would that rookie wide receiver immediately vault ahead of any of the names on our list?
I think the farthest up you can put him up maybe would be behind DK at 10, so like 11 and 12.
I would agree with that.
I mean, it's not like I'm saying that they can't be better than those guys. It's just like ranking wise, I feel like that's just where they would slide.
I think whoever goes to the Packers is gonna get that spot. Yeah, but that's all Rodgers has to throw. Mm-hmm. I assume he wants to prove that he could do it without Devontae. So I think that dude's gonna get peppered with targets. I mean, the guy could just not be good.
I mean, they slick lost MVS as well, and like it's not like he was that big of a deal, but like he was their wide receiver too.
Y'all got really no one. So.
Do you guys see Lazard as any sort of sleeper? Not like being the leader of that team in any way, but like having more value than. You're shaking your head the whole time. I haven't finished my question.
We know how Lazard is. He's a bum, bro.
I had no idea that man was 6'5", bro. I don't know why I thought he was a small man.
Because he plays small, dude.
He does. He does not play like a 6'5".
Rodgers loves that man, and all he does is let him down. I'm like, bro, Rodgers is not good. I think they cut Randall Cobb.
Yeah, they took a huge pay cut. They pretty much made him pay like the veteran minimum. Like, all right,
they took him from $7 million to like $1.5 million.
My question is, how did MVS get a longer contract than Juju?
Yes, better, bro.
He has a 3-year contract. Because to Juju, he's like, I'm way better than MVS. MVS is like, yo, they give me 3 years. I gotta take that. I'm in 3 years. Like, bro, I know for a fact if I get a 1-year contract, I can make money eventually. The thing is, though, if you do that too much, then you become that guy who only takes 1-year contracts. Like Devian.
Like Josh Gordon.
Yeah. Josh Gordon.
It's his choice. All right, that's a pretty good list.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, well, we got the list to you, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching.
What, 13 through 24 next week?
13 through 24 next week. And then we'll probably finish it off. We probably should hit the last till the 36 mark, probably. I feel like that'd be a good range, right?
Of wide
receivers. Running back yet?
We haven't done running backs yet. But we'll probably finish the wide receivers and then go to running backs. Unless you guys want to alternate.
I would go do running back. Because we haven't continued with any other position.
Yeah, but that's because none of the other positions really matter after.
Yeah, you only get one QB, one tight end. We
were always going to do more for the wide receivers and running backs.
But you will have multiple wide receivers on the team. Because the top 12 wide receivers, you're only going to get one of them.
It's fair to say the top 40 players at each position are probably going to, at wide receiver and running
very interchangeable,
are going to be who you roster.
Yeah.
Some people got 2 quarterback leagues.
Not in our league.
I would. All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Have a great day. Fantasy Squad Podcast signing off. Jalen, Brandon, Jasana. Thank you.